I was very good at maths. When I got my board exam results, I remember I had got 99 out of 100 in maths.
Brilliant.
And
You studied in SRC
Yeah.
and then you went out and became a flight attendant. How did your dad take to that?
I was not good with
No?
it at all. And I told my father about it. He was quite devastated. There are 3 women.
Yeah.
You all come from very comfortable backgrounds.
Yeah, where's the fire?
Where's the fire?
Yeah.
First priority is my children.
Yes.
Okay, so it's my kids or my house. Chunky doesn't require that much of my attention, luckily.
Yes. Hi Bhavana, I'm Ruchi from She the People.
Hi, Ruchi.
I'm very excited to chat with you about everything women and everything family and all about you and your business.
Thank you. I'm sure I'm going to love this conversation.
Bhavana, hi.
Hi.
Growing up with 2 sisters, how has that been for you?
Yeah, so I have 2 younger sisters.
Yes.
The one younger to me is like about 4.5 years younger, and the youngest is 6 years younger. It was amazing, but I think it was always like they were closer to each other than me being so close to them while growing up.
Right.
You know, we were. I always behaved like the older sister,
Right.
and I wanted the 2 of them to always listen to me, like I was the big boss. But after a certain age, post 18, I think we are like best of friends.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think growing up with sisters is the most amazing thing.
Yeah. The girl bond.
The girl bonding. And even today, I mean, I can call them any time of the day or night with anything, and they're always there for me.
That's amazing. And we know that you studied in SRCC.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then you went out and became a flight attendant.
Yes.
How did your dad take to that? Was he good with it? What was his take on that?
No, he was not good with
No?
it at all. No. So what happened is I did BCom honors in
Right.
SRCC, and especially in those days,
Yes.
it was like a path was kind of already
Laid out.
for you. It was like
Yeah, it was such a reputed course anyway.
Yeah,
And a
so-
college.
yeah. So it was like the normal thing would have been that I finished my graduation, either went for post graduation or did like internship in one of the MNCs,
Right.
and then probably join one of the multinational companies. So my plan with my father was always like I will finish my BCom, and then either I will do my MBA or go in for chartered accountancy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually thought when I graduated, I had an interview with Arthur Anderson.
Okay.
I thought I will do an internship with them and then do my CA. And I went for this interview, and I mean, I don't remember his name, but there was a very nice gentleman who took my interview for the internship, and he asked me to lay down my priorities in life.
Okay.
And I said my first priority is obviously CA because I was there for that job. Second is MBA, and third is flight attendant.
Okay.
So he was very surprised
course.
because
The
the first,
choices.
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
So then he said, okay, forget about the technical questions, let's just chat.
Okay.
And we spoke for about 10-15 minutes, and what I wanted to do and what my life ambitions were, or whatever, what I was feeling at that point of time in my life. And he said, okay, now list down your priorities off record.
Okay.
Just list them down. So the first one was flight attendant. The second was MBA, and the third was CA.
Okay.
So he said, I think you should really think about it
Yeah.
because it's you'll have to be really committed to this,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of hours, and you should be very prepared, that this is really what you want to do. And I took that piece of advice really seriously. I went back home and I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I should take a break of maybe a year or 2 years and come back to post-graduation.
Yeah.
Or, go back to this field after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I applied to Lufthansa. I mean, at that time, all these foreign airlines were coming into India, and they were recruiting Indian crew for the first time. And that was my way of like kind of traveling the world.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to get in, and I flew for about a year, and I had a great time and no regrets with whatever I did.
It's amazing that you could actually be candid with this person who you thought was going to, take it forward for your career, you know, in
Yes.
terms of, so it's amazing. And who
It
knows
just
what's
happened like that.
played out.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
sometimes they say it's destiny.
Yeah.
But yes, when I came back and I told my father about it, he was quite devastated, because I was like this blue-eyed girl who was
Yeah.
excelling in
And
studies throughout.
you must
Yeah.
have been, because if
Yeah.
you're, getting BCom honors at SRCC and then planning CA, you must have been a brilliant student.
Yeah, I was, and I was very good at math.
Okay.
So till date, like when I got my board exam results, my 12th grade, and I remember I had got a 99 out of 100 in math.
Brilliant.
And till date, I'm like, something like, where did I lose that one mark? Because,
yeah.
with a paper then,
Yeah.
you come back and you discuss the answers with your friends.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you recheck with your
Yeah.
teachers and everything. All my answers were right.
Oh
and
my
even
God.
my whole, how you reach the answer, the
Yeah.
whole thing, I know it was absolutely right. So I still wonder where I lost
Where
that
it
one
was.
mark.
Oh my God. There's a little nerd that's hanging inside you then.
I don't know, I
clearly.
loved math.
Yeah.
I used to hate it as a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened from 9th grade onwards. I just started loving that subject.
Yeah.
And I used to keep doing math equations and solving the problems. And I would go into the old papers of the last 10 years and keep solving them also.
And
I think it had become an obsession.
Had you passed that obsession to your daughters?
No, both my girls have not liked math. But strangely, my younger daughter, she was also not very good in math in her schooling. But now in college, she's excelling in math.
Oh, fabulous.
So somewhere I
some
think,
pattern there. Superb. Bhavana, a lot of people don't know that you're a very successful business entrepreneur. What made you start the brand, and tell us more about it?
Okay, so when I got married and came to Bombay, I had Ananya within the year of my marriage, and I had to give up flying, obviously, because my base was in Delhi. I didn't really know what to do with myself.
Right.
So I shot, I came to Bombay, and obviously the glamour line and everything was very exciting. So I shot a portfolio and I started doing a little bit of modeling.
Okay.
So I did like a couple of campaigns, and then what happened is I got pregnant. So I was like, obviously now this is not the path. Then I had Ananya. Then after that, I got a call to be a video jockey with Be For You Music.
Okay.
It had come
Back
into
in
India,
then.
back in the day. So I enjoyed that. I did it for a year and a half. But I have always enjoyed working. I saw my mom worked all her life. I mean, till she retired at the age of 62, which I feel is very unfair to women. I hope they've increased the age now. Is it still 60, 62?
It's similar, but not in the corporate world.
Oh, not in the corporate world, yeah. So she was with IBM, and then she moved to CMC.
Yeah.
But when she retired, that was the age you had to retire.
Yeah.
And but because I feel like she's still so sharp, and she could have gone for another 10, 15 years maybe, but that's how it was. I always wanted to work, do something. So I dabbled in a lot of things. I went into event management. So there were all these luxury brands coming into India. I remember Dior had come into India, and there was Louis Vuitton and Burberry. So I did like kind of launch events for them. Then I used to, then Mahip and me, we started like a kids clothing line.
Okay.
But very, very, on a very, very small scale. So we used to make a collection, call all our friends only, and
That's how
people
it
we
starts.
knew, and
of
come
course.
home and see the clothes, and they would buy the clothes. And so, I realized that there was always, I did it with another friend with resort wear. So I kept doing these small capsule collections and then having exhibitions. And I realized that there was that thing in me to start a business and, grow it and take it to the next level. So again, I've always done this with women, strangely. So two of my very close friends, Dolly Sidwani and Nandita Mehtani, three of us were at a party, and we were chatting, and we were talking about like gaps in the market, what is not available, and what maybe start a business together. It was actually over a glass of wine. We were just chatting. And Nandi is a designer, and Dolly comes from an export background. So her father was in the export business, and she used to help him, and she had created a brand on her own with her father.
Okay.
So she had that experience. And we chatted, and we said, let's start our own, like a fashion label.
Yeah.
Like, because see, Zara and H&M were all coming in.
Yes.
But what happens with Zara and H&M, their stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of wears the
That's true.
same
You'll
thing.
see 3 of them in the
Yeah,
party.
yeah. You will see everyone wearing, oh, Zara,
Yeah, yeah.
or, I'm talking about like 6-7 years ago. So these were the two main
Yeah.
brands that were in. So we said, like, let's start a fashion label made in India,
Okay.
out of India, and have similar price points,
Yeah.
like fast fashion, but at the same time give different styles. Also keeping Indian bodies in mind.
Yeah.
So, all the Indian, shapes, different shapes of
yes.
women at different ages.
Yeah, which
So
you understand better. What
we understand that better. So then three of us we started this brand called Love Gen.
Okay.
And we were very excited about it. And so because Dolly, so we got the manufacturing experience from Dolly.
Okay.
The designing experience from Nandi, and more of sales and marketing from my
you.
side. We thought we'll start it small and grow
Yeah.
it, but I think because the three of us came together, it suddenly became bigger than we thought it would be.
Yeah, the collaboration.
The collaboration. So we met a lot of factories that manufacture, clothes like the ones we wanted in India. We went to a lot of denim factories, t-shirt factories, fashion tops, and things like that. And we designed a few pieces, and we asked them all to make the samples for us. That's how it started. Then we got the samples, then we shortlisted what we really liked. Then we went and met Shopper Stop.
Okay.
And we showed them our collection. They loved our collection, and they said, okay, they can give us a space in 6 Shopper Stops to start with, and then we would grow it. So we went and we, made the samples that were selected. We produced them, and we overproduced them because we didn't realize.
And you were excited.
Yeah, but it was like, we were very excited, and we were like, everything's going to sell, and we're going to be all over the country, and a lot of excitement. But I'm just like bringing the long story short. Like there were, we did, I wish we had like kind of started it even smaller and stuck to the number of pieces that required, but we obviously over-ordered. Anyway, we started with 6 locations of Shopper Stop, and then eventually in 2 years we were selling at about 60 locations.
Fabulous,
yeah,
fabulous,
which worked. And in Bombay we started with the one in Juhu, and then Malad. But this business requires, I remember that we were spending so many hours there. I remember there were days we used to go to work at about like 8:39 in the morning, and we couldn't come back till 10:30, 11 because there's so many things to look into it.
Sizes,
everything. Then we wanted to open our own store. Okay, first store or whatever, and that's the time. Not just before. So we wanted to open our own store, and that's when we realized we needed the funding. Because what happened is, like, so far we were only supporting the business. We were putting in our own money. But we needed more experts to come on board, to run the business. Like we needed a proper CEO, a proper CFO, because the business had kind of grown and we were not being able to manage it just between the 3 of us. That's when we started going and meeting a lot of venture capitalists, and we presented our business plan, and everyone was excited and they liked the idea. Then there were things like, what if the factories you go to decide to not manufacture it for you? So you need to have your own factory or your own manufacturing unit. We started reaching those. Now that was like, again, imagine running, like getting a factory and running it. And that's going to be another crazy expense. And plus
you got
having someone to manage it.
Rolling as well.
So it was just getting larger and larger, but we were so invested in the business by then and so in love with this baby that we had created that we didn't want to step out and leave any stone unturned. So we went. So the problems we were facing with the venture capitalists or people who wanted to invest was like, you all are 3 women. You all come from very comfortable backgrounds.
Where's the fire?
Where's the fire?
Yeah, of course.
And
valid thoughts.
You don't really need to do this. It's not like it's your bread and butter. But we were like, you don't understand. We've run it for like 2-3 years. We've put in so much money. We've put in so much time and effort. It's not a joke for us. Then the second thing was like, okay, I'm married. I have 2 girls. and grown-up girls. I have a husband, so I have a house to look after. I have to
Yeah.
do this, that. So how invested are you going to be in the business? And the same went for Dolly, and the same went for Nandi. So that's where we realized that getting funding as women is going to be
A harder
a
process.
harder process, because we were so sure of our business, because we
Yeah.
had the ideas and we had this and we had everything, but we realized that funding was going to be an issue. And the most important thing for the business to grow now
Yeah.
was the
And if
fund.
that's the scale you were looking at.
There's
Yeah.
this company called Noise Fashions,
Okay.
who were already manufacturing clothes for different brands all over the world. Like they were supplying to Zara, and they were supplying to Pull and Bear,
Yeah.
and even which are the other brands? They were Primark.
Okay.
And so Chunky knew the guys who owned that company, and they were in Bombay for something, and they came home for dinner. So I showed them our brand, and I
Yeah.
showed them what we do, and I showed them our ideas, and the way we wanted to scale it. And I think we were very fortunate. And these are the guys who came into the business, and this was just before COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they came in and they said, we will come
Taking
in,
over.
we will take it over, like we will become your manufacturing partners, strategic as well as financial partners, which is what we needed.
Yeah.
We didn't need just the finance.
Yeah.
We also needed a strategic
expertise.
partners. Yeah. So they came on board.
A lot of people didn't know this. And it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and I just feel like I think people need to believe more in women.
Women,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, they
absolutely.
can do things, they just need the support.
Yeah, yeah. It often comes up, right? No,
Yeah.
you get busy, you'll have a baby, then I think the question sort of often comes as if like dads don't get busy at all,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
today times are different.
Very
Today,
true.
your partner is ready to share your responsibility.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Chunky was always so encouraging. Even like those days when I told you I was probably not home till 10:30,
Yeah,
11,
yeah.
we always took turns, and he
With the
made sure he
kids.
was there for the kids if
Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah,
And
yeah.
today we are fortunate. There's video calls, there's
Yeah,
telephone, there's so many ways to be in touch with your
Connected.
kids
Yeah,
and
yeah.
connected, and in touch with your house, connected to everything that's happening at home, and be able to work
And
at
be
the
able
same.
to.
Yeah.
That's true. So how is that how you're managing your in life? When it comes to business, when it comes to children, family, socializing, has it been too much of like, where is Bhavana and all this? She's just busy doing everything else. Have you remembered to put yourself first between all the things that you do as a woman?
I would say there are days.
Yes.
Some days you completely forget yourself,
Yeah.
because you are either doing something for your house or your. For me, my first priority is my children.
Yes.
Okay, so it's my kids or my house, or Chunky doesn't require that much of my
Okay.
attention, luckily.
Uh-huh.
And just even your parents are growing older.
Yeah.
They need your support also. So I think sometimes you do kind of forget yourself.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I've been very blessed that by the time I kind of we had the investors in, and they were kind of taking over the brand, I got the show Fabulous Lives of Bollywood
Of
Wives.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
And I think in this show I have kind of like looked at myself more than anyone else. It suddenly became about me.
Yes.
My hair, my makeup,
Yeah.
my content, my show. I have to promote my show. It's with
Yeah.
my friends.
True.
So organically, I think luckily I got blessed with this show, and I have started looking at a lot at myself also now.
Yeah. So of course we know your troupe, but how important do you think? And I think a lot of women looking at your show are just like loving the bond, loving the honesty in which everyone's. There is of course their little issue here, issue there, but it's all a part of friendship. And so how important is women bonding in friendship to you, and is it something you've always pushed your kids for as well, to have their own little trooper, those 5 friends in your hand who will always sort of stay, true friendships?
Absolutely. I think not only with these friends, but since my school,
Of course.
college days,
Yeah.
I've always had my girlfriends who have been like a huge sense of everything
Yeah.
for me. Whether it's support, whether it's love, whether it's enjoyment, going out, everything. So I'm in fact still in touch with my friends
From school.
girlfriends from school,
Yeah.
from college, and of course now this group of friends of mine.
Yeah, of course.
See, the four of us, we kind of got married around the same time.
Yeah.
Neelam was later, but at least Seema, me and Mahip, we were all in our early 20s. We were all 23, 24 when we got married. We all had our kids within the first
Yeah.
1.5 years of marriage. And that was a huge bonding
Yeah,
for all of us.
course.
And we have kind of grown up together. And our kids have grown up
Yeah.
together with us in the same space.
Yeah, at 21, you're just learning yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think I have gone through a major growth, personal growth with these girls.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were all like girls from non-film backgrounds who got married to actors.
Yeah.
So we had a lot in common.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know how I would have survived if it wasn't for my girlfriends.
Yeah. Of course.
And I'm so happy they're still with me. And I think with the girls, with the kids, what has happened is you always kind of take in what you see around you.
Yeah.
So they've always seen their mothers bonding, hanging together, taking holidays sometimes together. And they used to always be around. I mean, Mahip's daughter, Gauri's daughter, and now mine, Ananya, Suhana, Shania, they've kind of, all their life seen this. So it's kind of come organically to them. We didn't even have to tell them.
Have a chat about it.
Yeah. And even Ananya has a very strong school girls group. She's like very, very in touch with them. And of course, she has Ananya, Suhana, and Shania. And now, the co-actors with her, the women, she's done a lot of like two heroine-driven films where she's friends with all of them as well. Yeah.
So tell me, how is it to be, a mom to two daughters, and of course with Ananya taking, the stage, like everyone's talking about how, her new films have done supremely well, extremely talented. She's grown as an actor. But, we always say, whenever we're in a little bit of pain, we always think of mom, even if you're 70 years, you'll just say ma. Right?
Yeah.
So, of course, this profession, as you must have seen people around you, can also have its heartbreaks. Especially today, the trolling is a very, very big part of it. So how do you manage that sentiment and emotion for Ananya, or be there for her, in moments like these, because like I said, in pain, you're always thinking of mom. So
yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when she had just joined the movies, I used to get very hurt, and I used to get very upset. And I think, when trolling happens, I can take trolls head on when it comes to me.
Yeah.
But when you hear something about your kids, it hurts you way more, right? But I think she's been very strong. Okay. So in this case, I think more than me teaching her, she has taught me the journey. So I have seen her grow and come out strong from that, and I have learned from her. And I've realized that we need to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, I've said it before, when you put out something there, 100 people will have their opinions. And sometimes 90 out of them are good.
Yeah.
But we tend to focus on the 10 negative ones. So what I've learned with her is that you focus on the love, you focus on the positivity, and also, take the constructive criticism in your stride and work towards it. Why not? Sometimes it only helps you grow and become better at what you're doing. I mean, we learned so much in our business along the way. I mean, we thought we knew everything and this brand would overnight become something, but we realized like there are a lot, and we got a lot of constructive criticism too. Maybe not online, but offline we did. And we took it in our stride and we made it work. So I think with her, I have learned more from her than she has learned from me. To be strong. She's stronger than I am.
Okay. chunkypandey is a green flag.
Yes.
Can you tell us more what you really meant by that?
So when I say he's a green flag is because from the time I got married, I think I had more restrictions on me as a girl from
your parents,
my father, because we're talking about men here, than I've had with Chunky. He is a very, very supportive husband. From the time I was married, he encouraged me to, do whatever I wanted to do. Whether I wanted to work, how I wanted to bring up my children. Even I was learning. I was very young, but he was very supportive, very encouraging from day one. And also, I think another very important green flag is to make your woman feel secure.
Yeah.
That because I came from a absolutely non-film background, and I
Yeah.
got married into suddenly so much glitz and glamour and so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
beautiful women around.
Yeah.
And I got pregnant immediately, and
Yeah.
suddenly my body changed, and there were so many times in my life where I could have really felt down and out,
Yeah.
insecure, not confident on myself. But I think he's always been such a strong, like a backbone, literally
Yeah.
a backbone for me, where he never let me feel that. He never let me get insecure or underconfident with anything.
Oh, that's
Gave me wings to fly, I can say,
Yeah.
because I have spent more years with Chunky
Yeah.
than I have spent in my
Yeah.
parents' home.
Of
I've literally
course.
grown
Yeah.
with him. Yeah.
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 So Bhavana, when it comes to, we talked about putting yourself first sometimes, whenever you can, and you do remember to. What do you do on an, sort of periodic basis for your own health? Like, women's health is an extremely important, and I think we are talking about the times are such, we are talking about women's health a lot more these days.
Yeah.
And it is definitely different from when it comes to, the men.
Yeah.
There are different things that women deal with. Are you doing something to take care of yourself from a health point of view, other than, not just emotionally, just
Yeah, of course, because I am going through menopause
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
And it's, how much ever you are, you learn or know about menopause,
Yeah.
it's very different when you
When it hits
experience
it,
it. Yeah, it's very, very different. And I think, I mean, sometimes when I talk to my mother, and she was like, she didn't even realize when she went
Yeah,
through menopause.
yeah.
That's a change in times. I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah.
it is.
Maybe it's extra information as well, you think?
I think, of course, it's extra information, but also I feel like our lifestyles are very different. The kind
Yeah.
of food we eat,
Yeah.
it's not as pure as it used to be.
True.
There's so many changes
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world around us. Our stress levels are much more. In fact, I feel like they should have been more stressed in their times, because they had to really.
They had restrictions, and they had so many things.
And they had, they had, at least with my family, they had like, ends to meet, looking after kids'
Yeah,
education, bringing up. I mean, we are in different times where we
Yeah.
have so much exposure,
Yeah.
and we have so many things
Yeah.
which we can just
Yeah, we're comfortable
get,
in so many
get on
ways.
fingertips.
Yes.
Like, I mean, also I think it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes I feel our parents, what you don't know doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they were quite unaware, because we would
Yeah.
be, right now we are like checking on our kids, where are you?
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have the mobiles.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't have the phones,
Yeah.
and we didn't have the phones, so they wouldn't even know where we were. So they were relaxed.
Relaxed, yeah.
Yeah, we
Not
are
like they can do anything about it. So
Exactly.
must be fine, yeah.
No, they just didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
life went on with us. Like, okay, now that we have all those gadgets and everything, we want to know more.
Yeah.
It's not about, we want to track them. We want to know if they're okay, if they are safe. I
Yeah.
mean, we all grew up like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
and
yeah. True.
Luckily, touch wood, we did fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's that. But yeah, menopause is, so from health point of view, yes, I do Pilates.
Yeah.
I do Pilates. I'm not much of a gym person. I have just ordered a treadmill, because I feel like I need to walk more. And I'm not a gym person, so
Yeah.
I'll never end up going there. And I mean, in Bombay, you don't have too many places to walk,
Yeah,
unless
that's
you go to the gym, or you go to,
Yeah.
one of the parks and
Yeah.
everything. That's one thing. But for me, the most important thing that I've done for myself is yoga.
Okay.
So I do yoga 3 times a week. And yes, of course, it's like a workout, but that's only the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 30 minutes, I do meditation.
Yeah.
And I think what is helping me the most is the meditation part. I think sometimes it's just few deep breathing exercises. It's just having your mind in a calm, still phase for even a few minutes.
Yeah.
I think that is helping me a lot. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm also, otherwise, health-wise, I'm trying to cut down sugar, because
Yeah.
I realized sugar is like poison, refined sugar.
I know.
So I'm trying to cut that. I can't do it all the time. I get cravings, but I'm trying to bring down the sugar. Yeah.
That's amazing. Very, very nice chatting with you, Bhavana. It's
Okay.
absolutely pleasure.
Oh, this was so sweet and fun.
Yeah.